Happy Independence Day, everyone. As we start to continue this back to school week, a look at some issues, a lot of issues going on to help you and your parents. The lineup we got for you this week can really help you and your parents. Tonight, it's all about bullying and transportation. So we're going to deal with bullying in just a minute. But I want to focus what we have not talked about. We haven't had COVID in a while, so let's quickly get to COVID. No new cases in the state or in Nueces County. We are still at 13.8%, 69,000, over 500 tests taken since June 17th. And since Friday, 29 people are hospitalized with over 1,300 people in ICU. Vaccination rate 63.1, 18 million fully vaccinated. 21.5 people have had at least one dose of that vaccine. In the US, over 500 million people have been fully vaccinated. In Texas, again, 18.1, 48.2. Schools have had an updated their name because of the holiday, so we'll know what that happens. So, like I said before, what you need to start doing is making sure that you wear your masks at all times. Even if you are even if you are vaccinated, you need to make sure you take extra precautions. When people are out there going into the 4th of July weekend, you still have to take extra precautions. Masks. The only reason why a lot of people get COVID is because they don't wear it properly. Let me model it for you. I've had this lucky. It has to be like this. It may shrink like this and like this. That's gonna keep it from the nose. Can't be down here nor down here. I understand it's difficult to breathe, but follow those mandates. If you have the doctor's orders, they will mandate that you wear it unless you have a medical condition. Social distance. The definition is being more than 6 feet away. If you are more than 6 feet away, that's social distancing, or 4 feet. Hand washing. This is where people like this put the hands in the water, put the soap, put the water in. No. 20 seconds total. Washing in 20 seconds. Water cannot be above 110 degrees. Kids, if you're under 2, no masks. Also, if you're riding transportation with the bus, follow those same procedures. Now, this is the big one, quarantine. A lot of people just bring quarantine because they think they're okay. No, if you have COVID, symptoms of COVID, you need to stay home immediately. Don't go out there and start getting other people infected. You need to stay in the quarantine area. The only time you're able to leave, take out the trash or go check the mail. That's it. That's all you need to do. Also, if you're flying, make sure you take those extra precautions. Unless you're in the optionary zone, you need to take those extra precautions. If you have a medical condition, such as asthma, you are exempt from those restrictions. Just let them know beforehand. And make sure you get vaccinated. And after the 5th day of being quarantined, you need to be tested again. If you're negative, you're good to go. Positive, that's another 5 days. We're trying to keep safe here, so throughout the time, let's try to be safe and hopefully get on with our lives. Normally, to be exact. And let me tell you this. I never gotten COVID. I experienced quarantine. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not even going to tell you. But I've experienced quarantine, staying home 5 days. That's on lockdown. You need to stay where you're at. I mean, if you invite someone home, invite your friends over, you could get them infected. And if you get those people infected, they could get the virus too. And you could be the number one cause. So, even though you're vaccinated or boosted, have that mask with you at all times. When I have this with me at work, I carry it in my back pocket. No matter where, just as long as I have it. So bottom line is, let's try to be safe. Coming up next, a transportation plan for you and your child. Meaning the parents are going to plan on transportation for your child. Meaning how he's going to get there. I'll provide you with a transportation plan. 2 ways, or 3, or 4 or 5. And later, bullying, more bullying stories, and how parents can make sure they get that message. Because a lot of dads out there have their kids defend themselves and not going to the proper authority, the principal. They just go out there and defend themselves. We'll be right back. Up front tonight, our back to school month continues. Tonight, we are talking about transportation. We've already focused in on the buses and how riding the bus is not your right, it's a privilege. Meaning you have the privilege to ride the bus. A privilege means a special right. Like we talked about weeks ago, we talked about how athletics are a special privilege. Or privilege, not your right. It's basically the same thing with buses. If you ride the bus, you have to abide by the rules of the bus. I'm gonna play for you a clip to where a kid named Shorty from Boonville got in trouble. This was back in 2008 or 9. The principal was Mr. Halter. So, here is Spitball.
I make it a point to be out in the parking lot quite often, and I may talk to a bus driver about issues or if any of our kids are causing him any trouble. Mr. Cobb, any kids been giving you trouble on the bus?
Shorty and his brothers, he spit out the window at cars as they went by. Him and his brother were throwing an object back and forth.
We're going to handle that. After I talked with Mr. Cobb, and I went ahead and called Shorty into the office. Shorty, Mr. Cobb, the bus driver, sent me this bus conduct report, and on this he has written up that you were throwing something back and forth and you were spitting out the window. Go ahead and explain to me why you were spitting out the windows.
My sinuses have been draining. You know, when your sinus drains, you got a nasty taste in your mouth.
Right.
I didn't feel like swallowing it, so I spit it out the window.
Winder.
W-I-N-D-E-R.
Spell that for me.
W-I-N-D-E-R.
Now, is that how you spell window?
No, sir.
Well, I wasn't for sure if we had winders or windows in the school bus. Which ones are they?
We had windows in the school bus.
Okay, good. I was just checking. Throwing something back and forth, and when asked what it was, I don't know. You mean you were engaged in actually throwing something that you didn't know what it was?
My brother threw it over the seat, and without looking, I just threw it back at him.
You know, I've thrown back and forth a lot of stuff, and I don't ever remember throwing something that I didn't know what it was. What do you think it was?
It was probably one of those empty dip cans.
Ah, now then we get to why we didn't want to know what it was. Empty dip can. School policy here at Boonville is that a student may not possess any tobacco products or paraphernalia at any time. Could that have been why you was spitting out the window?
No, sir.
Shorty, you better not be dipping on my school buses.
No, sir.
You've admitted to spitting out the window, and that possibly that was a dip can that you were tossing around on the school bus. Can you see where that might be tied together, where
Yes.
I might suspicion a little foul play there?
I admit I have dipped on the bus once, but I had a spit bottle.
Are you aware of the rules on buses?
No, sir. I admit I didn't read the handbook.
Did you come to orientation?
I came here, I went up there to the field house, and I fell asleep.
Now, opening up this book and turning back here to where it says bus privileges. First offense, 3 days. Second offense, 5 days off the bus. The third offense, you lose your bus privileges. For the next 3 days, you'll be off the bus, and I hope that your conduct improves, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I like you, Shorty, but that's not going to keep me from following the handbook, okay?
Yes, sir. Since I can't ride the bus, I'm gonna have my mom drive me to school and back. Of course, she works down there at Big World Pharmacy, down there in front of Walmart.
Shorty, go back to class and learn something today
Yes, sir.
that's good.
Yes, sir.
All right.
3 days off the bus, my mom might really be pissed, but I don't care. The bus driver is a butthead.
We'll get to the tobacco thing in just a minute. But I want to come up with a transportation plan for you guys. Let me get out the brake board, which is a dry erase board, and I'm going to make a little T-chart for you guys. And I want you guys, once you have this, you can follow along with me if you have your dry erase board. You could use a clipboard or two. Let's see what color can we use for this T-chart. I think I'll use a red marker. Well, let's do green tonight. So, let's make this a little T-chart here. Now, this T-chart is going to be M for morning and A for afternoon. Get it? This is M and A. M for morning, A for afternoon. Now, let's say you gotta get to work, and so what is your plan? Okay, so in the morning, you'll take the bus. Now, what if you miss the bus? Car, meaning your parent, the kid, you can take your child to school at the right time, even though you'll be late. Oh, yes, I'm not recommending that's for the afternoon. That's fine for the afternoon. I put in CB for city bus, so that's going to be for the afternoon. So we got bus and car. Walk. You can walk to school. Your child can walk to school, but remember, if that happens, they are responsible. Your child's responsible for getting to school on time. As for the car part, it comes two ways. Either you take your child, or he's a senior and can drive to school. Okay. Now it's for the afternoon. The afternoon comes in many ways. Your child can take the bus home, drive home, walk home, wait, or They can take the city bus. It's a 4-case scenario. It's a 5-case scenario for the afternoon. Now, if they have extra activities, then they have to let you know. So, yeah, that is a transportation plan. So if you already followed along, that's great. Just remember. Now, once you're away, the neighbor can take the child to school, or a friend. So remember this. If you already followed along, that's perfect. So just remember this. Hang up inside, hang on the refrigerator so that you can look back at it every time, and you forget your transportation plan, you can always look back at the transportation board, and it will help. When I was in school, when I went to school, I used to walk to school, but I took the bus because I lived like I lived 12 minutes away from the school. And yeah, so that's basically the transportation for you. If you don't have a transportation plan, make one. There's still time out there before your child goes to school. If you don't have one, make one. When we return, bullying stories. That's one of the main reasons why I started the Stop Bullying Speak Up group, and I'm over 40 members. So these 40 members out there, welcome, and we'll have more bullying stories when we return. Before we get to our updates, this Independence Day, there was a horrible mass shooting happening. This was the suspect. This was the person of interest in that 4th of July parade shooting. When will these mass shootings end? It will end when people create more laws. That brings us up to date into Uvalde. In Uvalde, we now know that the police chief resigned from city council. Just 2 hours ago, Uvalde school shooter custodial death reports published by 3 law enforcement agencies. Sevalia County Summary states one of its off-duty deputies assisted with the killing of the shooter inside Robb Elementary. It states one of the off-duty deputies assisted with killing the shooter inside the school. They state none of their officers fired fatal shots at the gunman causing his death. It also says the director of Uvalde Police Department has made a good faith effort to obtain the facts to reveal him to the death, and the department faced issues trying to get all over the facts. That was from Uvalde. Now, what about Oxford? One of the 2 big shootings ever. Well, just last week, the suspect's parents want their son to testify as a witness at their trial. The parents want their son to testify as a witness in a criminal trial, lawyers announced during a Thursday hearing. But Smith declined to comment when contact was inside, but Judge Shaw ultimately agreed to give the okay for their son to take the witness stand. She said they have a right to call him. The Detroit Press reported the trials is set to examine the role played by James German currently at the November 30th school shooting, which their son was attending. Karen McDonald did not immediately respond to the insider's request for comment. Trial is scheduled for October 4th. That's the parents. Their son's trial will take place in January of 2023, and we'll have the very latest. Give America continues in just a moment. As you guys know, rarely we focus in on a lot of issues during the show related to school-related issues. But we never talk about cigarettes and drugs in our schools. So we're going to take a look at a few of the tobacco incidences that we just heard from Shorty, who said he dipped on the school bus. That is a big no-no. Now, a student who brought tobacco but earned a Saturday detention. Watch.
Julio, set in your back pocket.
School policy here at Boonville is that a student may not possess any tobacco products on campus at any time.
How old are you?
17.
Now, Julio, you know it's illegal for you even to have any kind of tobacco, right?
Yes, sir.
Where did you get this tobacco?
In the asset station.
And someone just sold it to you right over the counter.
Yes, sir.
I just don't believe that you could have bought this without a fake ID. Do you have a fake ID?
Yes, sir.
Give me that ID. Julio, who would believe that you were Ira Goldberg?
If it said Ira Goldberg Gonzalez, maybe, but it didn't.
The punishment for first offense tobacco on campus is 1/2 day Saturday detention. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go back to class. Learn something today.
Thank you. That do not go well. He got my fake ID. I really like that fake ID.
You guys, and I'm sure you do. Now, in many schools, they suspend that person. But I'm going to show you a clip where some other students were smoking, and it was a teacher who caught the girl smoking, and he was all like, they were like, "Here, catch!" And he's like, "Oh." Just watch, and you'll understand.
At Oneonta High School, I have to deal with drugs maybe once or twice a week.
Principal Day,
Go ahead.
we've got a bunch of kids outside smoking pot.
Thank you. Apparently, a teacher saw some students outside of school smoking marijuana.
We're gonna bring him in right now.
When I arrived, I saw the teacher and another young man, and the young man was holding the marijuana pipe.
Right now, I'm scared out of my mind. I'm freaking. I want to get out of here. I don't want him to call my parents at all. I don't want anything to happen. I'm freaking.
Nico, what happened? This looks really bad.
These 3 girls walked up and then they were just standing there. All of a sudden, they tapped me on the shoulder and they tossed me that, all quick, they tossed it at me, and then they just start walking really, really fast, and they just all leave.
So it must have been like, "Here, okay," and then he holds on to it, and then it's like, "What's going on?"
Was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I got caught with a pipe that wasn't mine.
Did you know they were smoking pot?
Saw a glimpse of it, but I didn't know what they were. I saw a glimpse of it, I didn't know.
Mr. Haddon said pretty much the same thing. They saw some girl smoking.
Okay.
And when he drove up, they threw it, and he went like this and grabbed it, and he stayed.
Okay.
Everybody else ran and left him holding the bag, and he's like, "What's going on?"
Why would you catch it if they tossed it?
I don't know, it was really quick. I just turned around and they had it in my hands, and
I'm not guilty because 1, it wasn't my pipe. 2, it wasn't my marijuana. 3, they just tossed everything in my hands and ran.
Right now, if it was not for Mr. Haddon, you'd be guilty, okay? I appreciate you being honest and staying while everybody else took off, but in the future, if you even suspect things, you need to walk away.
All right. I told the truth. I told my part of the story. He said, "Thank you for your honesty," and basically let me go.
Okay, thank you.
Next time Nicholas gets a marijuana pipe tossed to him, he needs to just let it go.
Now, in addition to another student at Kingsley High. What the heck? Must have gotten the wrong one. There we go. Now, Kingsley High, a student in Danielson, North Carolina, was caught smoking. Well, basically, there was a lie on top of it saying like, oh, she was at this side, that side, whatever. So it's Lindsay's sophomore directionally challenged.
So we found you outside, right? What were you doing?
I was just chilling.
Taking a little break from school?
I didn't see what the big deal was.
So where'd you wind up?
Where was I? In the field? Well, no. Before I leave to the park and I went outside and I was ready to walk through the parking lot doors. Like, I don't exactly remember where it is. I know it's like right next. No.
She thinks she went out that door. I think it was by the field, but maybe it was by the cafeteria. If you can't remember which door you walked out of 20 minutes ago, then I think there's something going on. You want to try to get your story straight here, Lindsay?
I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what part. All I know is I was near a field. That's it, which is like over there. So.
I'm thinking there must be a little bit more to this because kids, I don't think, just randomly go outside to chill. You need a break from the academic stress?
Mm.
Well, what kind of break were you taking then?
Need this right here.
I'm just taking a break.
The only reason why I'm doing it is I feel like it's a cuss word.
Really? This is a tobacco-free zone. And now you're in possession of cigarettes, and I'm assuming a lighter. Give me cigarettes. You can't bring them onto this campus. It's a state law. I want you to put those cigarettes on my desk right now.
Do you have $5? If you have $5, I'll give you the cigarettes right now.
I'm not going to buy them from you, Lindsay. Put the cigarettes on my desk right now.
Take them. I'm only doing it because I'm going to get in trouble. I'll just get another pack when I get home.
Well, you are in trouble, Lindsay. Oh, I think an extended day detention is an appropriate consequence for you. You can go to the office, they'll give you the pass for the detention. Part of me wanted to give her 2 detentions, but I think 1 detention will be appropriate for her.
I would think 2 detentions would be very appropriate because she needs to learn. Tobacco on campus is strictly prohibited. Prohibited means not allowed. So in other words, you are not allowed to bring tobacco on campus. Now, the other one I wanted to show you was from Danbury. A student was caught smoking. But there was a twist to this story. And the twist to that story is he had a choice to make. Whether it was take the 2 days in school suspension or 1 day in school and then go to that program. Watch.
It is annoying when I have to leave my office to go get a student who is reluctant to come to my office. Yesterday, 8th period, I went looking for you. You weren't in class. You got to come in my office. We got to get this straight right now. All right, let's go.
All right. Miss Bowers just busted me out of nowhere and put me into the office because of some stupid that happened.
Have a seat. Mr. Strever caught you smoking. Lucas, why do you smoke at school? What's the problem? You're addicted? What?
Yeah, I'm kind of addicted.
Well, what do you mean?
Wake up in the morning, need a cigarette. You
see? That's from smoking. That's what smoking does to you. I'm just gonna wait till you get done. His coughing really concerned me. It was very deep, throaty cough. It was making me sick. Lucas, are you concerned about your health with that smoker's cough? Does that bother you?
Yeah.
Do you worry about it?
I've been trying to work out at the YMCA lately every day.
You will not be able to breathe and keep up if you're going to be smoking. You can't even stop coughing. I bet you can't stop coughing. There it is. That's smoking. Do you have any cigarettes on you now?
Yeah, Miss Bellinger.
Right here.
No, Miss Bellinger, I'm addicted to them. I promise I won't smoke out of school.
Yeah, right. Give me. You got busted.
I'm just gonna take that one out.
I don't think so. Put it back.
Alright, it's all good.
Give me. These are menthol cigarettes. They're the worst cigarettes on the market.
And he's under 18.
There is a place you can go to here at school to get help. You want to try it? Mm-hmm. It's at the school-based health center. They have people there who will talk with you, and there's a program to quit smoking. If you agree to go to the program at the school-based health center, I'll go lightly on the discipline.
I promise.
Promise what?
That I'm gonna go to the school-based health center.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to it.
All right.
Then I can go lightly. So I'm gonna start with your 1 day in-school suspension. You know, for getting caught smoking is 2 days.
Yeah.
You bring that paperwork into me tomorrow, you'll be good to go.
All right.
Here you go.
All right, thank you, Miss Bellinger.
ISS tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right, miss.
Wow. And that's the reason why tobacco is prohibited on campus. Alright, how much time do we have left? We have time for one bullying story. Digital technology is used to detect bullying early. Japanese telecom giant NTT Communications developed a system that illustrates relationships between students to show who is isolated. The company's president says he wants to create an environment in which teachers are always alert to cries for help from students. That is going on to the Stop Bullying Speak Up page group on Facebook. If you would like to join, we'll have the link in the description below, or you can go on Facebook and look up Stop Bullying Speak Up. That's one of the bullying stories that was the very latest. And we'll have more bullying stories to you as our month continues back to school week. Month, actually. So we already talked about, let's see, Wednesday, it's all about truancy. 5 years we focus on truancy. We will focus on dress codes, special privileges for athletics, bus transportation, tobacco on campus and bullying. Wednesday, it's all about truancy. And then Friday, we're going to have a plan for Friday. Oh yeah, Friday we're going to do report card. We're talking about report cards and grades and why kids need to be responsible for their own report cards. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Monday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Wednesday. For all of us here, Give Me a Break and YouTube. Good night, everyone.